Hi guys, Puddin597 here with a ranked game in my Kutuzov. As you can see, both teams have 2 destroyers, 2 cruisers, and then 3 battleships. Now the thing with the Kutuzov is it's not really a close range ship. It's more medium long to long range support cruiser. It's got very nice flat arcs on its guns. It has an extremely high fire chance. I do believe that this is a 15-point captain in here with concealment and demolition expert, along with superintendent, expert marksman, and basics of survivability. Now, usually at the start of these games, I like to ask, like, where we want to go, but I just waited to kind of see how the team was going to go, see if anybody was talking. Now, I'm waiting for my rear guns to get in play before I actually take my shots at the turrets. Take my first shots at him, and at this point, I actually should have started turning my guns towards the destroyer instead of looking at the battleship. That was just me having a frustrating day in rank. Noticed the Benson's engine's knocked out. Gonna take some shots in on him. But I did notice that there was a North Carolina behind that smoke screen. As you can see, he kind of pops in and out. Gonna try to turn my ship because, like I said, I do not want to get close to any battleship. As our North Carolina finishes off the first enemy Benson. Take a second shot at the, or take my first shots at the enemy Fubuki, I believe that was. Managed to give smoke to the battleship behind me, and the only target I really can see is North Carolina, so those are going to be where my guns are pointed and my shells are going at. Notice he put out a fire. He's also reversing. So I know these 3 fires weren't going to stick. Accidentally run into our friendly battleship that was behind me that is also utilizing my smoke. I'm going to take a shot at the turrets. Only 1 shell makes it through, but all you need sometimes is just 1 shell to hit and cause that fire. To at least get his damage control out, or if he's smart, he'll just let the 1 fire burn. The Magi is the only ship that I can see to actively shoot at. So I'm just going to start putting my rounds downrange at him. I see torpedoes are inbound. My smoke is closely running out, so it is time to start motoring the boat and to get out. And I do set a fire to the enemy battleship that was at Bravo. Now, I do believe North Carolina's damage control is still going to be out. This guy's shooting at our turrets. Don't know why he's using high explosive. And now I get 2 fires burning on the North Carolina, who is now in a position to where he has to start going forward. He's not going to be able to retreat fast enough. Actually has to get his ship moving to try to get out of here. But considering he is pretty much the only ship most of my team can see, that's who everybody is going to be shooting at. He also has 2 fires burning on him. Take another shot. Luckily, the rear guns got through. And now I'm going to start turning my ship to make a slight push into Alpha. This North Carolina is not going to survive, especially with 2 fires burning. And there is my first victim of this match. See, the Prince Eugen was debating whether or not I should switch to armor piercing or HE, and not knowing where the enemy DD was last spotted at, I'm like, I'm just going to leave the HE loaded. I'm not going to get a couple shots on the Prince Eugen anyways, so I just didn't switch to AP, even though these guns do reload relatively quickly. Now at this point, I start noticing that The Tirpitz is going to be the one who's going to get on to B and start capping that. There's also an enemy battleship that looks like he's pushing where our DD's at. So with the Prince Eugen sitting there, I try to take a shot at him, but like I said, these don't have the high arcs like the American cruisers, so all those hit the island. Want to take shots at the battleships because there's no destroyer for me to see. Pop my smoke while I'm reversing. The rear guns make it over the island.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Just gonna keep reversing. Not sure where those torpedoes are coming in at, but I do know I have the island in front of me, or to either side of me, so I knew I was relatively safe from torpedoes. Just gonna keep pumping shots in at the enemy Tirpitz, and for some reason our Benson smoked up. This was the guy who was spotting everything at B. I don't know why he had to pop smoke, but in a situation like that, I was kind of hoping he didn't, because he was spotting those guys, and I could have just rained fiery death upon the Tirpitz. And at this point, my typing skills came into play. As the Tirpitz comes in, I'm begging the DD to spot these guys for me, so I can just continually to harass them. Our friendly cruiser dies to Tirpitz from the enemy Prince Eugen. But like I said, my main focus right now is to just harass this Tirpitz so they can't cap, so we can get somewhat of a point lead to where we can play a little bit more defensively. This guy puts out the fire that I set on him, but I do believe he used it to get his torpedo tubes back into place so he wouldn't lose them. Set another fire, but his damage control was actively being used. Kind of failed to notice that he was turning around. I didn't look at my mini-map like I should have. But I do realize my mistake, adjust my aim. Kind of failed on getting my ship moving forward with my smoke running out. Just taking shots at the last known position of the Tirpitz. See the enemy Kutuzov. I'm just going to fire these HE rounds, switch to AP because A, I'm close enough to where these things are going to do a lot of damage, and he is showing a lot of sight, and he doesn't have very many options to turn because of the island that is right there. And with the rate of fire with these guns, it's just a matter of time before I get those nice juicy citadels. There's 3 citadels. Knocked out his engine. Thought he would actually repair his engine, but he didn't. So those shots harmlessly missed. Gonna take another shot. These are really not gonna do much damage because he's fairly well angled, but now he has to turn back towards me. These shots are just gonna outright kill him. He's dead. Those are his torpedoes, which I knew weren't going to hit me.
Torpedoes astern.
I have AP still loaded. Another set of torpedoes from behind me, but those, once again, no way they're going to hit. Switch back to my HE because there's 2 battleships and a destroyer and an extremely low health cruiser. And instead of taking the chances with the AP on the cruiser, just use the HE and knock him out. This Fubuki's all but dead. There's 2 DDs shooting at him. His engine's knocked out. I'm sure the battleship's going to take a shot at him too, but our friendly destroyers managed to get there. Now, I had thought that possibly one of these 2 destroyers was spotting this Tirpitz, but I kind of do have to pop my smoke because I'm starting to get a little bit too close to this guy than I want to be. He takes a shot. Luckily, it does not do a lot of damage. But now at this point, I'm going to try to reverse, turn my ship to be in a position to actually run away. Luckily, one of the DDs managed to spot the Tirpitz for me to get some shots in on him before he disappears again. And as you can see, that was my last smoke. But like I said, I really felt like I had to use it. Otherwise, I would not have survived this. Put one fire onto the guy. I'm just going to continue pummeling him. Try to get 2 fires before I switch to the Amagi behind him. But this guy really needs to die before the Amagi because he's just way too close for me. Now, I'm kind of hoping that this guy was going to speed up a little bit behind these islands as our friendly Benson comes to save my butt and give me his smoke. Every Kutuzov captain's dream in ranked is to actually get US destroyer smoke because it's so much better than everyone else's. And I do thank him for the smoke before he manages to let me know that that smoke was for me. You know, once you've kind of played rank enough, you can kind of tell what some people are going to do and not do, why they pop their smoke, for what reason. This Turpus, it was smart captain, knew I had destroyers, was turning, knew I had destroyers, knew I had torpedoes, and actually turned behind the island so he wouldn't get hit by any of the torpedoes. As you can see, he's now starting to turn back in a little bit. Like I said, just going to take the chance. And luckily, most of my shells do get over and get high caliber with those rounds. Going to continue pumping rounds into the turpets. It's kind of an either-or situation on who needs to die first. They're both relatively close. Well, they were relatively close. Same amount of health. But like I said, I wanted to get 2 fires going on the Turpus before I switch targets. So one is damage controllers that are out, or he's got 2 fires burning. And those fire damages really do stack up relatively quick. Get 1 fire on the Amagi. This guy puts out 1 fire for whatever reason. Don't know, but it looks like I was hitting somewhat of a saturated area on him. So my high explosive wasn't doing too much damage. Our destroyer lets me know that his smoke is almost out and that I need to start moving. I'm going to continue focusing on the Amagi because the fires were still raging on the enemy turpets, and I was kind of hoping to get a fire back on the Amagi before I resume harassing the enemy turpets. Now it looks like that those fires just naturally burnt out on the turpets, that he didn't use his damage control. Torpedoes going in on the Amagi. Just can't seem to get a fire on the Amagi as those torpedoes died. Luckily for me, those shots were way too far behind. The enemy turpus is on fire. This guy's too low health for me to ignore anymore. There's 1 fire burning on him. Like I said, just trying to get the fire on the Amagi, but I should have kept shooting at the turpets because due to that, he was actually able to get off another salvo in my direction. Maybe if I kept shooting him, he would have died, and he never would have gotten no shots off at me, but luckily they did no damage. 2 fires on the enemy battleship here. And I'm not sure exactly where the last enemy cruiser's at. So with only 1 target to shoot at, I'm just going to keep pumping these rounds in at the enemy battleship that I can see. And now we can see that the enemy cruiser was over by B. The Benson quickly dispatches him. Set another fire on him, and this guy is still burning. So it is just him versus us. And he's burning as I get a witherer. This guy's not long for the life. There's 1 battleship, myself, and 1 destroyer. Vertogen managed to finish off the gentleman at B, but it's really going to come down to this guy. It's all but over. I give the GG. These shots are going to set my final fire, and this guy's going to burn down to death. So now it is time to look at the post-battle results. 132,000 damaged out, 5,000 experience, along with Wither high caliber, 3 ships sent to the bottom of the sea. Number 1 on a team with a base experience of 2200s. I'm assuming that was probably because of the 1 plane I shot down. A nice chunk of money at a 500,000 credits. It's what premium ships do. They just hemorrhage money. But as you can see here, 68,000 due to main batteries, with 40,000 from high explosives, 20,000 from armor piercing, and 63,000 from fires. A little less than half to my fires. Just want to say thank you guys for the support that you give us. Please hit that like, subscribe button. Keep the replays coming in, and have yourselves a wonderful day.